like to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out Let's Talk Racing tonight. We're going to have a good little cute time. We're going to surprise some guests on people. Right now we've got Caitlin Shaw and Matt Mullins here getting ready to get things cranked up. He's trying to down his last donut. How you doing tonight, Caitlin?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Why don't you do a quick bio, tell everybody what you used to do, or what you do, and where you came from, and so the people that first timers can know all about you.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Caitlin Shaw, and I'm a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver. I'm working to run another truck race at the end of this season with help from the oil medics. And I started out in quarter midgets, and I came through the open wheel background, mini sprints, USAC Ford Focus, and then the national midget. And then in 2008, I got an opportunity to start testing the Camping World trucks. And then I ran my first race last year at O'Reilly Raceway Park with Red Horse Racing.
Is that where you're originally from, Indiana area?
No, originally I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I moved out to the Charlotte area about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So now you're in the Charlotte area trying to make a go at it, huh?
Yes, sir. I'm interning at Michael Waltrip, and that's helped me out a lot on the public relations and that side of things. So that's been interesting, and just working on sponsorship and gonna race again soon.
How long have you been at this now?
I've been racing for about 11 years.
And you're how old now? Let's
21.
21? Oh, you're just a baby. Who you now the truck series? Who are you going to be running with? Let's talk about who you're going to be. What team you're going to be enveloped with?
It hasn't been officially announced. We're going to announce here in a couple of weeks. But the Oil Medics is going to be one of my sponsors, and we just have a new campaign with them today, actually, for the Trucker of the Week. And so that's kind of a neat green initiative. The Oil Medics are all about making things more environmentally friendly. So we're really pushing some of their products, but we're highlighting a trucker each week that's made a green initiative in their trucking, either with their truck or if they own a trucking company. So all the truckers can either nominate someone or nominate themselves at theoilmedics@yahoo.com if they just send in a picture and what their green initiative is, and then that'll be featured on my website as well as their website each week.
Oh, you do have a website. Give us your website address real quick.
The website address is www.caitlinshaw.com.
Linshaw.com, okay. Got some pictures of you there and what's going on. You keep it up to date pretty good?
Yeah, definitely. We kind of took a break for a few months there, but now we're back and it's all up to date. So
cool. Yeah, I go through that every now and then too. I got to get mine updated. So the summer's been hectic for us. So
I understand that.
Yeah. So and unless you pretty much don't have somebody full time devoted to it, it can get put off to the side every now and then. Caitlin, now you say you went from the midgets, you went from the forward focus midgets into the USAC midgets, and now you're in a truck. How much difference are you? Is there a big learning curve there for you?
There really was in the beginning. The weight difference, rolling into the corners, and the throttle. In the midgets, I could get on the throttle right at the center of the turn and the apex, but with the trucks, I really have to let it roll through the center. So that's what I worked on last year in ORP. And I'm getting some pit practice starting up now with MWR, so I'm really working on getting the weight and the control down with the new weight of the car.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that when we run this race at the end of the season that it should go well.
Have they been letting you do the pit stops down there? I know them guys practice a lot down there. Have you been driving the cars doing the pit stops?
I'm actually starting tomorrow, so it's definitely going to be helpful for me.
Oh yeah, it's got to be helpful for you because you're kind of going into it blind. I mean, midgets, you really don't have a pit stop.
Right. I got a few pit stop practices in last year before my race. That really we only had about a week before the race because it was a late last minute race deal. So I'm really excited that I have all of this time to prepare and to get everything right the way I want it before we get into the race.
Right. Yeah. 21 years old, a female, getting into the Camping World Truck Series. What kind of experience has that been for you?
You know, it's been a great experience. Today I was doing my work. I was interning at Michael Waltrip, and because I'm a full-time student also, so I still have to get my intern hours, my credit hours through that. And Michael Waltrip came in my office, and he took me down onto the shop floor and told me that he had a TV interview for me. So, I mean, it's just kind of things like that that just kind of take you off guard. And when you take a step back to look at it, I mean, most people my age aren't getting those opportunities. So I'm really grateful. I'm really lucky.
Has he been real helpful with you? Has Michael worked with you a bit, and is he trying to kind of help you along?
You know, they're all really supportive. Really, David Rudiman's given me the most advice, I would say, from a driver perspective. But I've just learned a lot. I'm doing a lot of Ryan Truex's public relations, so just taking him to the different radio shows and taking him to the different television shows and being with him at the track, I've gotten a lot of the public relations training myself, just being in that environment. So really just the opportunities that they're giving me to travel with the team and to do that sort of thing has been really helpful.
We had one of your crew members, I believe he's a car chief on one of the cars. Tim Brown was up here last week running the modifieds, or 2 weeks ago I should say, running the big modifieds. Oh,
I love Tim. He's a great guy. I see him all the time.
I'll tell you what, I got to give him kudos. We had a little girl up in the stands that was she's been sick with cancer, and he said if he won the race, he was going to give her that trophy. And by George, if he didn't march right on up there through the crowds and everything and make sure she got that trophy. And you know, my hat's off to Tim. When you see him, you tell him attaboy. We were all real proud of him.
That's definitely, I don't know, that's really neat.
So, you know, we think very highly of Tim. He, you know, and ran a good race, ran an excellent race at Langley Speedway. So you've got some good help there.
That's good. There's the whole organization. They're really helpful with everyone. Everyone's really supportive of everyone in anything that they're doing. We had one of our people in the fabrication shop. He set a land speed record, and so we had a big video for him, and everyone was really supportive of him too. So it's a really great environment to be in.
Good. Sounds like it is. It sounds like there's some teams down there that are really great to work with. They're very loose, and you know, as long as you get the job done, it sounds like there's a lot of really great teams to work for down there.
Definitely.
Now, did your parents come down with you?
No, they're still in New Mexico, so I'm trying to plan a visit sometime in my schedule here to go see them in a few weeks.
Yeah. Do they, now when you go race, do they come up and see you race?
They try to. My dad, he's retired right now, so he can make most of my races. But my mom's still working. She gets as many as she can.
Yeah. Are you going to jump into anything else other than a truck? Are you legends, late models? Are you trying to get into anything else? I mean, even back into a midget?
I'd love to race the midgets again. I really wanted to run a midget race at Phoenix, but right now I really need to just kind of focus all of my efforts on the truck. And then next year, in addition to some truck shows, I'd also like to run some of the Camping World East Series cars. It seems like a really good learning ground for everybody, so I'd like to get into something like that also.
Yeah, that would be a really good... Trucks are actually... I went to a truck race in Martinsville at the beginning of the year, and man, I'm telling you, I was really impressed with those guys, and you got to be up on the wheel to run a truck.
Definitely. I was watching Todd Bodine in Kentucky, and he definitely just drove hard.
Yeah, it's not like you can ride too much. You got to get up on that wheel and start wheeling it from the drop of the green flag until the checkered flag.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what else? What are our dreams here? Do we want to become the next Danica, or what's in the future for Caitlin Shaw?
I'd like to be the next Caitlin Shaw. No, I really would just kind of am taking it one step at a time. I don't want to look too far ahead. I have my goals set. I'd like to run a full season in the Truck Series in the next couple of years, and eventually the Sprint Cup Series is my goal. But I'm just kind of taking it one race at a time right now, just trying to get all the experience I can to get to that level. I see all these guys, and that's what they kind of, the advice that they kind of give, just kind of learn as much as you can right here, and don't focus on winning a championship, focus on winning the race, and then you can work to that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of working on right now.
Doc said something about you're going to be a truck reporter for us or something. Are you going to give us some inside scoop on some trucks?
I think I am starting next week.
Starting next week. Well, we're going to start you out this week. Give us a little what's going on in the truck world, what you know, where they're going to be at next week. Kind of give us a little update.
Okay, well, the trucks are running New Hampshire this next weekend, and they just came off of Kentucky, where Todd Bodine won, and it was, I believe it was Bodine, Amarola, Sauter, Peters, and Hornaday was the top 5, and that's all I have right now.
That's all you have. Do you know anything about the little controversy between Bodine and Busch?
A little bit, yeah.
Give us a little feed into it.
Spill it. Come on, girl.
Well,
it was on the TV, so you're not giving anything else out away.
yeah.
Well,
or is it that you know inside info that's not out there yet?
No, I don't know anything like that, but just, I think that everything will get settled on the racetrack there.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to. We all plan for it to happen, get it all settled on the track, and that way NASCAR doesn't have to mess with it.
Exactly.
Okay. We'll work with you on that a little bit, Caitlin.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Put you in a pickle, didn't we?
Just a little bit.
Well, I think they'll settle it out on their own, and I think, like what Doc just said, NASCAR is going to kind of let them, put it in the driver's hands and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, usually, if it's something that's not going to be hurting other drivers, like you don't go and turn somebody to the left going into the curve while you got 15 cars behind you, because it's going to pile up and crash about 5 at least. One car against one car, that's fine, bumping and banging. Yeah, as long as it's not a safety hazard. NASCAR's really been a lot more lenient with their have at it rules. So I think that as long as it doesn't become a safety hazard or for other drivers, I know, with a lot of the lower budget teams, it's really hard for them if they get taken out to make it back the next week. So I think that once it starts getting to a higher level, then NASCAR would step in. But
yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Doc, don't mess with that. I told you I got it temporary.
I'm just checking.
Doc's over here. He's been my nightmare since I walked in here tonight. So
we have it about 7 o'clock. We have the sun directly shoots into the front window and just blows.
It blinds you. So, well, listen, Caitlin, we're about due for Robert now at 15.
Well, actually, I'm gonna call him. So
we're about 7:15 at Robert. We haven't even said who we're gonna have on here. Robert at 7:15. Robert Richardson.
I'm waiting for a message back from another lady racer.
Another lady racer. We're waiting on, and we don't know what time that is.
She's supposed to be doing about 7:30.
Who's that?
I will tell you that in a minute. Get back to you on that. I'm going to wait till I get confirmation. That's one of the worst things, Caitlin, you deal with this stuff. You can contact people out 2 weeks in advance, and you don't get confirmation until sometimes 10 minutes before the show or during the show.
I completely understand that.
Nature of the beast. So we all have full-time jobs. That's another thing. This isn't something we do, every day. So.
Right.
Did you talk about your the people that you've been working with lately?
Oil Medic?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. We've been covering everything, ain't we, Caitlin?
Yes, we have. We can cover a little bit about Ryan Truex, though.
Cover Ryan. I seen him Friday up at Richmond.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He has an opportunity to clinch the 2010 East Championship this weekend in New Hampshire. So we're hoping he does that and pulls off MWR's second championship. So
that's right. That is an MWR car. I forgot about that.
Yep. And so and it's actually he's won at this track the last East Series race. So he has a good shot. And then Dover in 2 weeks will be his season finale in the East Series, if he can pull off 2 championships in a row.
Now, is he going to? Are they going to move him up into Nationwide for next year?
Yes, it's sponsorship based. Right now, he's running 6 nationwide shows this year. He'll run after he ran Richmond last weekend. He'll run Kansas, Charlotte, and Homestead the rest of this year, and then we're going to try to put him into a full season next year.
Next year. Well, that's good, and of course that is going to be, barring sponsorship, I should say, because this is not a cheap thing to go do. I don't think people realize how expensive it is.
It's a very expensive sport.
Very expensive. You know what? Let's talk a little bit about this. You're in there, and they've got Nationwide cars. What do you think of the new Nationwide, the new car, the car of tomorrow, or whatever they're calling it? COT is what I called it.
I think that it's a great car. I mean, all of the guys that I've talked to said that they're a lot of fun to drive. They really put the driver back more into the driving position of it. They look really neat on the racetrack. It's really cool how they made it look like really represent the manufacturers.
A little bit more in there than what the Cup is, isn't it? They look a little bit more like what they're supposed to look like.
That's what I think, and I think the fans are really picking that up, and I think it's going to be really good for the manufacturers.
I didn't hear many complaints Friday out of the new car. I think everybody liked it. I think the fans were very pleased with it because it's getting back onto the win on Sunday, sell on Monday theme. Where the cars are actually looking like the cars.
Exactly, and really for MWR, for us, with Trevor and Ryan, it really puts them on more of a level playing field, not having a lot of experience in the cars like a lot of the other people would. Now in the new car, they're kind of all on that same level, that same learning level again. So
exactly, and hopefully it'll be efficient. Some low buck teams can have some good quality cars and have some good runs, and don't have to have 30 cars for a season.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I was actually, and I know you're in Toyotas. I'm sorry, which is a good car. I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong, but I really thought that Ford and Dodge stepped up their programs and really made them look like the Mustangs and the Challengers.
I definitely agree. I think that the Mustangs look really neat.
I was very. It was disconcerting to see the Impala in the Nationwide series. I was really hoping to see the Camaro. I think that would have helped them out a lot more. The Impala looks like a Sprint Cup car to me, and actually the Toyotas did too. I think there needs to be a little bit more. They need to make them look a little bit different than the Cup cars.
Right.
You know, toy motors.
The Toyotas and the. Chevrolets, the Impalas, and the Nationwide. So, who do we got on the other line?
Robert Richardson.
We got Robert. Do we need to let Caitlin? You want to hang on and join in on this BS session?
I have a lot of homework here, so maybe I'll join in next week.
She's homework bound. She already told me she got to study her booty hard.
All right, Caitlin, go get that homework done and plug your sponsors one more time, then we'll let you go.
Okay, well, I'd really like to thank the Oil Medics and Community Health Care Services for all their help, and make sure to register for the Trucker of the Week on the oilmedics.com.
Oilmedics.com.
Cool beans.
Gotcha.
All right, young lady.
Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Robert.
Yes, sir.
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Just actually headed down to the ballpark in Arlington, Texas to go watch the Texas Rangers play.
Man, he gets to do all the fun stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like when hockey season comes around, I call up and we can go out anytime we want to over here to our games.
Yeah, that's true. My Chiefs won last night. Hey, how about them Chiefs?
The Chiefs?
Or Monday night. They won Monday night. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't happen to see that game, but congrats to them.
Yeah, started out good at least. Let's see how they finish.
I can't say how about them Cowboys because, you know, they for their game this weekend, but it was it was a fun game there at the end to watch them come down, and they should have scored, but that holding penalty that they had ended up messing them up pretty good. So.
I'm not much. I didn't even watch Monday night. I do not watch football. I'm not a big football fan. I don't mind watching it every now and then. I'll watch the Super Bowls, of course.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I just cannot sit there and watch these $1 million players play that game. I'd rather watch a college game or a high school game.
Yeah, because they play for pride, not for money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what's going on?
Well, not much. What's going on with you? Thank you for last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, by the way. I do appreciate that. I got to meet Tim Pac-Man.
Yeah. He's a character, isn't he?
He is a character, but the hospitality was great. I do appreciate it. I mean, you've got a great crew there. Coleman didn't have too bad of a run.
No, I mean, Coleman's actually been doing pretty good, for us this year. He's got a lot of different opportunities with junior motorsports and various teams this year. Testing with them and running a couple of races with them as well. So he's definitely getting his name out there. NASCAR.com did a story on him, I believe it was today, about Coleman Presley and who he is as a person and as a race car driver as well. So he's definitely been a great asset to our team, as far as running consistent, running clean, keeping us up in the point standings and helping us finish out this year.
Yeah. Now, do you have another driver coming in for a little bit this year?
Yes. So obviously Alex Kennedy has been running a couple of races with us this year as well. Johnny Sauter ran a couple of races with us, but the latest news is that Mark Davis will be running our car at Dover coming up here in a couple of weeks. So actually, it's coming up this weekend, rather.
Right.
But Mark's a great guy. He's a very clean race car driver. Raced with him a couple of years, and every time when he's in one of the Nationwide Series races, he always has a decent finish and runs fairly clean. So eager to see what he can do when we go to Dover.
I ran Legends with him up here, and when his dad was still with us, they used to come down to Langley and run Legends with us, and you can't meet. There's never a nicer family.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
He'll do good in your car. He really will.
Everybody's done good in my car except for me.
Oh God!
Have you been? We were just asking Caitlin. Have you been in the new car yet?
I have, yes. We were, started out the season at Daytona, and then we ran Michigan with the new car as well. So I think Charlotte is the next race that we'll be running the new car, and I'll be running that race as well. So just trying to work out all the kinks in those cars and trying to figure those things out, how to get them to turn a lot better in the corner. And I mean, you heard a lot about all the other drivers this weekend at Richmond talking about some loose in, tight in the center, and loose off. So they took away the rear sway bar setup that we were using in races past, but NASCAR's done away with that, and just kind of made us go back to the conventional setups that we've been running in the past. So hopefully they'll work with us over the winter about maybe putting the cars on bump stops and things of that nature to try to get the cars to turn a little bit better and make them handle a little bit better. But for now, we'll just deal with what we're dealt. Continue out the rest of the season and regroup and revamp everything over the winter.
Yeah. Are we going to see the Camaro by Chevrolets anytime soon?
I would like to think so. But it's still up to Chevrolet on their final decision on what they want to do as far as a body style, for next season. As of now, they're sticking with the Impalas and things of that nature. So we'll see. I hope they do. I mean, but you see a lot of the Ford body and the Toyotas and everybody. All the noses are somewhat similar. Some of them have a little bit more fender flare with the Ford bodies, and Chevrolets do. So you might have your advantages and disadvantages with the new body style, but right now, if you can just, you know, mechanically get your car to turn a lot better than the other guys, you're going to have an advantage. So,
Right.
Aerodynamics, I don't think is going to be that big of a deal right now until we go to, you know, the super speedways of
Daytona, Talladega, yeah.
and the intermediate racetrack. So, you know, we'll see what happens next year.
So you're actually going to race at Charlotte? Is it just the Nationwide Series?
Yes.
Man, I might have to talk to you about coming down there for that.
Well, you know, I'll hook you up. You know, if you decide to swing on down, I mean, I don't think we, you know, in Charlotte, typically, we just have the friends and family of the crew members. Typically, we give the credentials and things of that sort, too. But if we have a couple of spots open, we'll be glad to put you on there.
Keep me in mind.
Yeah.
You know, take care of your crew. I understand that 100%. Take care of your crew and all them guys. If you happen to have a couple extra, let me know. I'll be more than happy. Because I've been waiting to meet you. I was hoping you'd be at Richmond this time.
Yeah, we were trying to work out a deal to where I could get down there, but, you know, ended up just taking the weekend off and doing a little bit of dove hunting. So, you know, it was a lot of fun. You know, I don't get to do as much hunting and fishing as I'd like to, but, you know, when the opportunities arise, that's typically what I'm doing when I'm not at the racetrack.
I'm gonna do some striped trout fishing here shortly. Once we get through the Legends Nationals, we've got the Legend Nationals come up here. But once we get through that, I'm going to do some. I think they said it was striped or spotted trout.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, yeah. It's going to be a real early morning for me to get up and go do it. But I'm going to get up and go do some striped trout or some spotted trout.
Sounds awesome.
So.
But what all have you guys been talking about tonight on the show?
So far, we just talked to Caitlin Shaw. We talked about the truck series a little bit, and you know what? I'll ask you about this. Todd Bodine, Kyle Busch, the last truck race. Kentucky. Give me your take on that.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you get spun out, you're obviously going to be a little angry. Yeah, but looking at the replay, I mean, that's what happens with the trucks. If somebody gets on your outside, it just completely, you know, takes the downforce and the air off the right side of the truck, and more likely than not, you're going to spin out. And, you know, I don't think Todd was anticipating, you know, Kyle getting that close to him and sucking him around, but, you know, it happened. I don't agree with what Todd said, but at the same time, I'm glad that, you know, Todd won. You know, I think everybody's, you know, getting tired of hearing Kyle Busch's name every single week, you know, winning all the races. But, you know, granted, you know, you've done something if you can beat Kyle Busch in anything. You know, that guy is a machine when it comes to driving a race car. So, yeah, it's a two-sided argument.
Do you think he meant to do it?
Kyle?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I think he, you know, it's like trying to get your advantage. You're going to try to slow down your opponent as much as you can. And, you know, Kyle knows the ins and the outs and the intricate little tricks that you can do, whether it's in a cup car, a nationwide car, or one of the trucks, you know, that you can do to, you know, get an advantage over the guy who's trying to pass you. In the nationwide series cars, if you hook your nose up underneath a car that you're trying to pass and push some air up underneath their rear fenders, it's going to slow them down and, you know, create a lot of drag, and it kind of slingshots you past, you know, the guy you're trying to pass. So it was no different than what he was doing in the truck. He was just trying to, you know, close that gap a little bit on the outside and slow him down and free him up a little bit coming off of the corner to where he can get a run and beat him going into turn one. But, you know, that didn't happen. You know, but that just, I guess, made Todd that much more angry and more anxious to get back to the front and try to win the race, in which he did. So congratulations to him, and you know, that's just part of a NASCAR racing. You never know what's going to happen, and you know, that's what creates all the drama.
Somebody said something, and I believe it wasn't on the Racing Hub. It was like race day or something. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they said Kyle has an advantage over everybody because he's always out. He's always running a late model. He's always doing a truck. He's getting so many laps in a lot of these cars that's what's helping him out. He's not just waiting for a truck race or a cup race. He's out there getting all these laps, and they said that's got to be helping him out.
Absolutely. You know, the more seat time that you can get as a race car driver, it's going to make you better. You know, if you're constantly sitting in a race car, which that's the only thing that Kyle Busch knows is racing and driving, you know, various types of race cars. If you would let him race a horse and buggy, I'm sure that he would race that. So
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that guy can drive anything, anytime. I'd be interested to see what he could do if they put him in an Indy car or a Formula One car and just, you know, test the skills out in that. You know, he may have had opportunities to do it. And, you know, I don't know if he has or hasn't, but me personally, I would like to see what he could do outside of NASCAR.
And, well, there's been talk about that too, hasn't there, with Kyle?
I haven't heard any talk about it personally, but you know, it's hard to think that it's not being talked about.
Right.
You know, I would like to see him at least go to the IndyCar Series and see what he could do there.
Well, that would be mighty interesting to see him getting in one of them little cars.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the race for the chase.
Mm-hmm.
You know most of these guys. Who's your money on for this year?
Well, it's hard not to bet against Jimmy Johnson. You know, he's been so consistent every year in the chase, and you know those are like his prime racetracks. So almost every single track that they go to, they're, you know, a force to be reckoned with. But then again, you look at what Kevin Harvick has done this year. You know, leading the points most of the year, won a few races, has been head over heels a lot better than what he has been in the past. And I'm eager to see what Kevin does in the chase. You know, Greg Biffle's usually pretty solid. And it's hard to say. I mean, I heard Clint Boyer talk about how this year's chase contenders is the best that it's ever been. And you know, there's probably going to be numerous people fighting for that championship spot by the time that Homestead rolls around. So, you know, I couldn't agree with that more. You know, everybody's pretty optimistic about their chances in the chase. The only one that kind of sounds a little bit hesitant that I've listened to in interviews and stuff is Matt Kenseth. But, you know, he's, you know, won a championship in the past, and you can't really count him out. But if you look at overall statistics this year, it's hard not to go against the Hendrick bunch or the Childress bunch, you know, to see, you know, who's going to come out on top at the end of the season.
You know, you just said it there, Matt Kenseth. He has just been so silent all year long, and he kind of snuck up into that top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't hear a lot of Matt Kenseth this and Matt Kenseth that, but he's been there every single race. Like Jeff Burton, too.
Yep.
Jeff's been a little bit more vocal, but, man, I wouldn't count the five, six drivers you just said. Biffle, Kenseth, Harvick, I think's got a solid chance. Jimmy Johnson, of course. I think Jeff Gordon's got a good shot at it, too. He's been very consistent. And,
yeah, it's hard just to pick one guy. I mean, then you look at, you know, like what Gibbs has done this year with Kyle and Denny, you know, making the chase as well.
Yeah.
It's hard not to count those guys out either. So it's definitely going to be a stout group of drivers here going for the championship. So I agree with, you know, what Boyer and everybody was saying, that it's going to be the best chase that we've ever had. It's hard not to agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is probably going to be, I don't think there's going to be no runaways with it. I think they're going to have to earn it. This is going to be an earned one.
That's right.
So. You're on Kevin Harvick. Charles here, sitting here, says Kevin Harvick. Yeah. You know, and I really don't know. I mean, it's just like, you know, we were just talking. You know, you got Kenseth. You know, Jeff Gordon, it's wide open.
It is. I mean, if you had to ask me, you know, out of two drivers at least, you know, I'd say Jimmy Johnson number one and Kevin Harvick number two. That would be the two guys that I picked to win the championship. But, I could be wrong. Yeah, but if you look at how consistent those two guys have been this year, and you know, top tens, top fives, win. Yeah. It's hard not to count them out.
Yeah. Well, you know, and Tony Stewart's been somewhat solid this year. He hasn't had the results. You know, his finishes hasn't shown how, you know, he's actually ran, but he's another solid guy too.
Yeah, and you know, the whole, you know, Stewart-Haas organization has been pretty solid this year. You know, Ryan Newman's had a pretty good year. Tony Stewart's, obviously a threat anytime that he shows up at the racetrack. But again, I mean, it's hard to count anybody out in the chase contention for the championship. I mean,
Yep.
you never know. I mean, how many past champions do you have this year going for that championship spot? I mean, you've got Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, and
Biffle isn't? No, Biffle's not a past champion.
Kurt Busch. I mean, you see a lot of the past champions in there mixing it up. So, I mean, it's definitely a good end of the season battle, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Nationwide, there's been a little bit. We had Kenny Wallace on here not too long ago, and he kind of let the cat out of the bag that they're not going to let the Cup drivers, dip down as much as they used to. They're going to try to give the Nationwide drivers the championship, the way it sounds to me. What's your kind of feeling on that?
It's hard to say that that's going to happen. I mean, you would like to think that as a Nationwide Series regular, they would like to give the regular drivers an opportunity to win the championships, but fans come to see their favorite drivers, and most of the time it's the Cup Series drivers. If these racetracks want fans to be in those seats for the Nationwide Series races, they're going to bring the Cup Series drivers into our series and let them race. I've heard that there's been talks about them being limited to a certain amount of races this year to what races they can run, or docking them the point and giving them purse money. But until that final press release is out about what NASCAR is going to do about that situation, I can't really tell you what they're going to do. But it's just hard for me to see that they're not going to let the Cup drivers run whatever races they want to run next year.
Doc, what are you doing? You still there, Robert?
Yes, sir.
I was told that Nationwide guys won't get no points next year race.
With the Sprint Cup guys, yeah, in the Nationwide.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. It's kind of nice to see like Harvick and Busch and I really enjoyed seeing Kyle Busch in a pink uniform this weekend. By the way,
that's pretty hilarious.
You know what? But he took it in stride. I mean, he represented it. Doc. Oh, that's his phone? How the hell do I do that? Okay. So now we're just in blank time. We're in blank time, right? I'm gonna show off my new helmet is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show off the new helmet. First gen paint and graphics hooked me up. And then I'm gonna show that. Yeah, no, this is actually my old one, and he got a hold of it. My buddy Harry got a hold of it and just did an awesome job on it. And so I'm going to kind of show it off. I have my Wiley X stickers on it. And Harry did an awesome job. He'll do you one, do good. He does a great job. Is that Robert back?
Who's that? Probably.
Richardson. Okay, what do I got to do? Intercom.
His button is flashing and then his speaker.
All right, I didn't do that, Robert.
Neither did I. Cell service is not exactly the best around here in Texas, but I don't know where you lost me or what I was saying, but I was just saying that if I was a racetrack owner, I would want to see the Cup Series drivers in the Nationwide Series as much as possible, and the Truck Series and every other series, that they can put fans in the stands. But as a race car driver, trying to make a name for yourself, you definitely don't want to have to deal with the Cup Series regulars coming down and winning all the races on a regular basis.
Well, Justin Allgaier, and I know coming into Richmond, he was fourth in the points. And he's had a solid year. He's run really great this year. But the top you know, he was fourth in points. The top three were all Cup guys.
Yeah. I mean, he and Boris Said are the only two, I guess you could say, regulars that have won races this year. Everybody else has been a Sprint Cup Series driver.
Everybody else has been a Sprint Cup Series driver. So, I mean, I understand what they're saying about letting some of the drivers come in, but, you know, I think there needs to be a limit to it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say that because, you know, you might have a rookie up there that needs track time and, you know, you want him to run some more nationwide races, but, you know, come on. It's the same way in the trucks.
You can run as much as they want in the trucks, can't they? Or are they going to limit the trucks too?
I don't know. And it's just like Robert said, they haven't made a press release on it yet.
Let them go ARCA, do some ARCA racing.
Well, that would be just as bad.
Why?
Well, I mean, if the Nationwide Series does drop, you know, the purse money, you know, next year, they might as well go race in the ARCA Series. But it just
kind of a catch-22, ain't it?
Do something about it. Next season is about, you know, limiting how many races that they can run next year, or you know, dock them the points, you know, for what races that they run.
From what I understand, they're not going to give them any points.
Yeah, no points.
Yeah, we had heard that too. Yeah, that they were not going to get any points for running a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that fair?
Rumors and speculations right now, but you know, time will tell, and we'll see what happens.
What do you think of the?
Wouldn't it be fair if they have no points? Then they're not as likely to. They're not going to race for a championship then. So the only thing they're going to do is get seat time and money.
Well,
and if they limit
okay, but my point is that if I'm going to race a series, I want to see points. I want to see that I was there.
Well, hold it. We're trying to keep them from being in there, so that more nationwide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Limit the number of how many they run. I understand what you're saying, and it makes perfect sense.
Do the whole thing.
But
if they're only going to be able to run 5 to 7 races, why give them points anyway?
Yeah.
They'll either do one or the other, though.
I think they'll do both.
I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what NASCAR does. Be interesting. So, Robert, what's new on your plate?
Definitely not any doves.
Down the end of the season here. As far as the team as a whole, we've been doing an addition on the side of our race shop, making an expansion to possibly, you know, run a 2-car deal next year. You know, we're trying to get Coleman Presley some sponsorship, you know, to come and run with us next season. But you know, that's, you know, like hunting. You never know what you're going to get, or if you're going to get anything. But we've got a lot of people, you know, helping our organization out, try to find sponsorship, you know, for the remainder of this season and also, you know, 2011. So the race team as a whole is looking, you know, upon the horizon into the 2011 season. We're eager to wrap up this year, you know, take what we've learned about the new car in the Nationwide Series and make whatever changes necessary to make our cars better for next year. You know, so we're pretty much going to be done, you know, with the old style cars, you know, forever as far as I know, and you know, just start, you know, focusing on, you know, this new car and making progress.
Are you going to try to run full-time nationwide next year, or you know, I'm sure that's sponsor driven, but are you even looking to run full-time Cup next year?
A full-time Cup Series, I doubt it. As far as the Nationwide Series effort, as of now, without sponsorship, the answer to that would be no. I may do another limited schedule again next year, but as of now, more interested in helping a lot of these other guys, you know, like Coleman and Alex Kennedy and Mark Davis, you know, get their names out there and, you know, help them get, you know, picked up by a Cup team one day. So, you know, I get the opportunity to race a couple of races, and if we can, you know, draw enough sponsorship and, you know, create those partnerships, you know, for a couple of races, sure, I'll run some races. But as of now, I just, you know, kind of sit back, finish out this year, and you know, help out these other guys.
Are we? So we're looking more into mentoring than we are right now.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I guess you could say it'd be more of a mentorship, but you know, like I've said in a couple of interviews, here in the past couple of weeks. You know, when I was playing football, I was always kind of the underdog. I was the short guy, and just wasn't tall enough to play quarterback, or I couldn't throw the ball 80 yards like 20 cookie-cutter quarterbacks could. But I always proved the naysayers wrong, and I always gave my whole heart and everything whenever I played football, and it's no different in racing.
Yeah.
I want to give the underdog a shot at the title. I want to give them those opportunities that other teams won't give them.
Exactly.
That's why I always hear a lot of positive things about our race team. The group of guys that we work with, it's almost like a family. It's almost like a fraternity. I mean, all the guys have that camaraderie and work well together, and they work hard, play hard together. So I mean, it's definitely the best group of guys that I've ever worked with, and everybody that has raced for our race team has said the same thing. So, just eager to finish out this season, see what we can learn and keep progressing, until Homestead this year, and implement what we've learned this year, incorporate that into the new car for the Nationwide Series next season. Hopefully, go out there and improve on what we've done this year with numerous top 20 and top 15 finishes. So, just eager to get it going, already. We are winding down this year, but still anticipating and eager to get next year going as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'll do very well in whatever you do next year.
Appreciate it.
And you got a great crew. I got to meet a lot of them there Friday, and I got to meet Tim and all that, and they really did roll out the welcome carpet, the red carpet, and tell Tim when you talk to him I do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'll do it.
And I like staying out of their way. I didn't get too, it was a hi, how you doing? But he's like, whatever you want and whatever you need, so. But tell him thank you, and thank you. I do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Anytime. And as always, I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
When you opened up with that line for what's he got on his plate, I was just talking to him about his famous dove hunting bit he just did. That's why he made the comment about how bad hunting can be.
Yeah. Well, now, that fishing invitation's still open, Robert. You ever get up this way?
Absolutely. And likewise.
We'll catch more fish than you got doves, that's for sure.
Yeah, send me pictures.
Yeah, I will do that. I can do that. So, anyway, Robert, get out of here. Go have a good time, and we'll talk to you a little later.
All right, guys. Like I post with every week, anybody that's interested in keeping up with our organization, feel free to check out our website at www.r3motorsports.org. It has links to my Facebook page and MySpace page and everything of that sort. So feel free to check everything out and keep in touch.
You got it. You too.
Be safe.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye. Great guy. Was a college football player for Southern Methodist.
Oh, was he?
And he didn't get hurt or didn't quit. I think he got through college and then decided to go racing. So Robert Richardson, yep. Coleman Presley drove for him. Mark Davis is going to drive for him this week at Dover.
Yeah, not this week. The
following week.
Yeah.
And that ought to be interesting. Mark will do him a really good job. Mark's a really good driver. He's a good kid. Really is. And, has always been very respectful and just a really great kid. So, he drove for Joe Gibbs Drivers Development, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago. So, now I was showing the new helmet off while we were waiting on Robert.
Well, I could show this off.
Nah. Harry Leach did that for me, and I went over one night. He had it all in white, and he says, "What do you want to do?" And I says, "I want to do red, white, and blue." And so we kind of came up with the Evel Knievel-esque hat, kind of an Evel Knievel tribute. He did a really good job. He did it all airbrushed.
Well,
so
I see you got your Wiley sticker on the side.
I got my Wiley sunglasses. So I hope Alan's watching. So
keep them on it.
I can do that. I can do that with these.
What
These are the
happened to you
polarized.
last weekend, we kept trying to call you. Never get in touch with you and couldn't do anything.
I tried to get in touch with you Friday. Nobody is in the chat room tonight. What is up with that?
That could be my fault.
Did you go Saturday night?
I put it out late.
Oh, okay.
Did you go to race Saturday night?
Did not go Saturday night because on Cup night I usually stay here at the house unless I got passes to go down to the garage.
You didn't have passes?
Huh?
Say what now?
I said I don't go and do the Cup race unless I've got garage passes for the Cup race.
I went up Friday to the Nationwide,
Yeah.
and it was pretty cool. The Cup cars, or the Nationwide cars, are really cool looking. The Challenger looks like a Challenger. Don't ask me. The Mustangs look like a Mustang. The front ends look like a Mustang. The Challengers look like a Challenger. You know, it doesn't look like a COT car. This is the new design cars.
Yeah.
You know.
Came to true to form.
Came to true to form. They look great. They were Keselowski was probably the top Dodge, if I remember correctly. Justin was running real well. He had a problem about midway through the race. Kevin Harvick won it. Kyle Busch had a little problem on pit road. The breakaway for the filler stuck in the car, and we were down to turn one. It was like, oh look.
And you got to meet Ms. NASCAR?
Jennifer I can never pronounce. Candelero. I got to meet her. We got hooked up after the race. Calandrillo. So she is infield Jen now. That's what she's going to be, infield. She was down there meeting fans, but we finally got to hook up. And nice girl. We got to talk for a little while. It was pretty cool.
She got a picture of you on her.
Yeah, I seen that. She got a picture of it. Hung out with Mike. Hung out with a little bit with Tim Pac-Man. Eric McClure. I went down and Bobby Gobble was down there, so I got to hang out with Eric McClure a little bit. And it's pretty good. Ran into Kenny Wallace. Said hi to Kenny Wallace. And he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
So you didn't get a chance to say, oh, by the way, we talked with you and everything?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I did. So, but he was
still just as bad as when he was on the show.
Oh yeah, 500 miles an hour.
Well, a good time to catch him is when at the night and everything's basically done and over with. And he's got relaxed.
Yeah, and most of them were all good. Got to see Kyle Busch in his pink
outfit
and car. The car really looked cool, and the little girl that they did the commercial with, she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had her there, so that was pretty cool too. She was running around.
Jimmy Humlet, by the way, Sunday,
had a minor heart attack. We wish him well.
Who?
Jimmy Humlet, modified driver.
Was modified. He used to run late models when I was running late models.
He ran late models. He ran grand stocks, late models, yeah, and then now he's doing modifieds, and I heard he's doing pretty good. So this weekend, modifieds, pro wings, I believe it's grand stock, super street, or it's grand stock, right? If it's grand stock, U-Car, and I know the pro wings are there. I think 5 of them are there this week. I think the trucks are too. Langley Speedway.
What else was I going to tell you about too?
7th, 8th, and 9th of October. Legends Nationals coming to town.
It's still up in the air if I'm going to be here for the following weekend.
Yeah, and we're going to get together this week on that. For all my sponsors, we're still going to do that. It's our last.
Faith left to be my proxy, right?
Last points race, so it's going to be. We got it. We're pretty sure we've got it. You know, we're 110 points, I believe, is what it comes down to. We're 110 points ahead of second place.
All you got to do is.
I don't even have to start.
Oh, you don't even have to start to win.
Don't even have to start to win. So,
where are you going, Roger?
I may be going to Dover.
That's in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Where are they at this weekend? Where are the Cup guys?
Loudon.
Yeah, that's right. They're at Loudon. Cup Nationwide and trucks are at Loudon.
And
and the modifieds.
Yeah.
So you missed a heck of a race on them modifieds. Whew.
Anyway, he still didn't. He got out of the answer the what happened to him at Richmond thing. He still didn't answer that. we kept calling him and we never heard anything. He kicked it back around and started hitting us with the question. So what happened?
You got busy, didn't you?
I got busy. Yeah.
See? Yeah.
Oh, you played it out for him.
So, did you get your car worked on?
Yeah.
Did you bring it down here to win?
Say what now?
I didn't know that thing would make that much noise. Did you bring it down here to win?
Man.
Yeah. Did Eric take good care of you?
Well, I didn't see him. You know, I asked for him. Another guy came up, and, you know, took my name and so forth, and he helped me out.
They take good care of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had
Well,
to
Eric
wait.
might have worked on it.
Yeah. I had to wait maybe an hour. That wasn't too bad.
Well, that was better than 4 hours.
But 5 hours.
5 hours. We won't mention their name,
Nah.
but you took it to win for.
Not on TV here. No.
Not on TV. We're not going to.
Oh, it's not
But
like
took
you're
it to
gonna
win
it's
for
not
and
like
got good
NASCAR when they
service.
can
Good.
find you or anything. So
They'll take really good care of you down there.
We were talking about Hall.
So, when's your next deal? When are you?
Leaving Monday.
For how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you're going to be going on the 25th too.
25th. Yeah.
where are you going to?
Remember I told you that?
Yeah, you did. We talked about it last time. You're going down to the Visionary Awards, right? Down at Disneyland?
Miami.
Or the Mirror Image?
Impersonator convention.
It's what?
Impersonator convention.
Impersonator convention. Oh, it's just the convention.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're leaving.
Second week.
When you're leaving now?
Monday.
It's coming
Monday.
Okay. Here, hurry up, finish up the project.
All right.
So you leave this Monday.
I'll be in this Monday coming up. Miami for a week and then Orlando for a week. After working in Miami, then come back to Orlando for a week to the convention.
Oh, you got
And
life
then
rough.
take it easy.
Yeah, you got life rough, don't you?
Oh, we need to look like somebody, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. you got it rough.
And I was talking to the guy Tuesday. What's the day? Wednesday? No, Monday. This is going to be live on the internet. This convention is red carpet and the showcase.
See what we've done started?
We're gonna have to
We got
watch
everybody
this.
doing stuff live on the internet now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be live on the internet.
Believe it or
I'll
not,
have to
I've
get the
had
website
people
for you.
calling me, asking me, giving pointers. I spent an hour on the phone with one guy the other day, talking about what it takes to do all this stuff.
Let me see this book here. I'm going to write down a website for you.
If you can remember it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Yeah, but who else? Amy Turner, she's almost due from Richmond. PR marketing girl that's in charge of all that out there. She's ready to drop hers. Ryan Newman's child is due around Thanksgiving.
Oh, I didn't know she was going to have a Sunburst Connections
Convention.
Sunburst Convention.
Sunburst Convention, yeah.
See, you write so nice I can't read it. Sunburstconvention.com.
Yeah. You can probably pull up there if you want to.
I already shut off. I did.
Oh,
It'll take a minute.
Diane, that's what I was trying to remember. Diane, she was doing some work out at Richmond, and on, I think it was Thursday, she had to be taken to the hospital. She had to be
Hmm.
back to the hospital.
What's wrong with her, Ron?
She had some issues with her potassium and some other levels and stuff like that. Which is probably her texting me. Yeah. She finally has gotten home from the doctors.
Diane.
Diane Hines. Works for Mike Helton.
Oh, okay.
She's always giving us a bunch of stuff and everything. Yeah, but Mike, for the race, the cup race, sent her a limo, put her in a suite so she could watch the race,
Oh.
and sent her ass back to the hospital. But her magnesium and I think potassium levels dropped down to almost nil. sodium level and magnesium were almost not present, and this has been happening since Montreal. And so I told her, I said, that's a sign that you might have some kidney problems. She says, no, they think it's just it might be a little heart related. I says, no, the kidney problems cause these to go down, which cause the other problems. You know, trying to diagnose her over the texting. But anyway, so they've got her on a regimen. She's starting to feel better now.
I ain't gonna take too damn long to turn that thing on. We just gonna sit back. Sunburst Convention. www.sunburstconvention.com.
Yeah, it's held at the
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Starts the 22nd
22nd
through the 26th.
through the 26th of September.
Yeah.
See, I'll race on the 25th. I'm gonna miss it.
But
You're gonna miss it.
the red carpet, the showcases Friday and Saturday. The banquet award is Saturday night.
And this is the Mirror Image Award, right?
If you can
For
win
the
it,
Mirror Image Award, I should say.
if you can win it, yeah.
Well, no doubt in my mind. You can't.
I hope so.
Well,
You fooled a lot of people.
let's actually get a show over
On time?
On time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes over. But we'd like to thank everybody for joining us this Wednesday night for our latest show of Let's Talk Racing.
Good night.
Charles, Matt, and myself want to thank everybody.
Caitlin, Robert, thanks for stopping
Caitlin's
in.
going to be an every week thing.
She's going to be an every week thing. That'll be cool. She seems like a really good girl.
Yeah. And if we can, we might work it to where we get a couple other drivers and we'll have nationwide and cup coverage.
Hey, that would be pretty cool.
Yep. Be a little neat thing.
Let's get out of here.
All right, everybody, we'll see ya.